When I talk about making quick money, I don't mean you should go speculate on real estate for short-term gains. Absolutely don't do that. What I mean is that you should verify as quickly as possible which strategy can help you make money the fastest. Even if you just manage to generate positive cash flow, that's fine. It's not about holding on to something for the long term, but rather about having a way to quickly see what the market needs. Because right now, too many investors are using the idea of long-termism to numb themselves. They believe that property prices in Australia will always go up. As long as I buy a property in a blue chip area and just leave it there, I'll make money. It's as if they've already made a profit. Then there's another type of person. They're constantly looking at properties, insisting on reading reports and spending all their time researching. They believe that one day they'll find that perfect deal. But what's the result? After a few years, the first group has all their money tied up in the down payment and still has to pay out of pocket every year. It's as if maintaining that property with negative gearing even made them a bit of money, right? And what about the second type of person? Maybe they've been reading reports for years, but have never even attended a single auction, and they just watch the market as property prices keep going up. The reason I'm sharing this is because it was actually my real experience 5 years ago. We talk about long-termism, but in reality what we're doing is just wasting time in the long run, which leads to a huge opportunity cost. Over there, a lot of people seem patient and persistent, but in fact, their capital is always tied up in a very inefficient way. Even more people are living in the wishful thinking that property prices will always go up. They keep putting money in, but in the end, they can't cash out, and when they tally up the total, they actually lose money. So we need to break down and talk about the investment traps here separately. The first type is what I call the scam of blind common sense. Why do I call it a scam? Because if you just hold on for a long time, the market won't actually reward you. Many people are really superstitious, thinking that Australian real estate will always go up, so they keep holding and keep buying. But the truth is, after holding for half a year or a year, they might understand the market better, but if you look at their assets, most likely they're just treading water or even losing money on some properties with even worse cash flow. Why does this kind of scam exist? Because the bank's job is to earn interest from you. That's how they make money. For us, we need to use less capital to create greater value. So long-termism here is often just capital, right? And you willingly buy into the narrative of negative gearing. But when investing in Australia, you really need to learn the mindset of making quick money. This isn't about taking shortcuts. It's actually about respecting the market. You need to find the leverage for value growth as quickly as possible. Next, let's talk about the second type of person, those who overanalyze. This is also a common trap in investing. Let's talk about doing research, because this is such a typical issue. Many people now spend their time reading analyses, browsing websites, and studying reports. They believe that if they persist in reading and learning every day, one day they'll find the perfect deal. 6 or 7 years ago, when I was buying my first property, I had the same mindset. I spent 4 months researching, but the more I looked, the more afraid I became, and I didn't make a single offer. So I was also a victim of this long-termism. In fact, I think this is a form of self-comfort, believing that by constantly doing research,